everyone, what's up? My name is Joss from Schools Reads, and today we are going to be doing a little something different. I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I've read that have to do with the circus. At the end of this video, I'll also be announcing a giveaway with 2 winners of a finished copy of a book that I will be talking about in this video as a huge thank you because I did recently hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel, which is so crazy. So definitely stick around for those instructions on how you can enter. Okay, I don't claim to have like super extensive knowledge of the circus, but in my limited research, I do know that there are some periods with circus acts that do have bad reps. So for example, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, circuses were sometimes called freak shows, which I entirely don't endorse, and focus more on human oddities and myths about genetic mutations that are totally false. People also used to ogle at people that seem to be out of the norm, not to mention some of the questionable conditions that animals are kept in. Thankfully, over the years, there has been an upswing of animal-free circuses, and they also focus more on celebrating the feats and the marvels of what people can do athletically with their bodies, as opposed to something that is othering. I used to be on a dance team, and some of my friends were involved in circus arts, trapeze arts, and aerial silks, and I saw just how much time, dedication, and hard work they put into their own training, and that's kind of how I started to get interested in circus arts. So getting into the books that I'm going to be talking about today, they all have something to do with the circus, and they range on a spectrum of magical realism and super dreamy and atmospheric to more realism, describing the times in the late 1800s and early 1900s when these circus acts were coming to fruition. Some of these books also comment on the social issues with regards to how the people were treated that performed for the circus. So the first book that I'm going to talk about today is The Tumbling Turner Sisters by Juliet Fay, which came out last Tuesday on June 14th, and it is set in 1919. The father of the family works in a shoe factory, and one day he gets into a terrible incident where he can no longer make money at his work for the family, and consequently the mother decides that she and the daughters should embark on a mission to perform in some vaudeville acts in order to earn a living. It alternates between narration by Gert and Winnie, who are the 2 Turner older sisters. What I loved about this book was that it was really well researched. Juliet Fay only mentions theaters that are still standing today, maybe not in the theater business, but are still physically alive. As well, she uses research done on the treatment of women in this time, so she comments on things like women's suffrage and prohibition, and how internalized the beliefs of systemic racism can be during this time. These are things that are used to set the culture of the times, however, the girls' internal experiences and their training are the center of the plot. The second book is one of my favorites of the year, and you'll have probably heard of it, and it is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which centers around an impending duel between 2 magicians that are both involved with this traveling circus that magically appears. It is extremely atmospheric and focuses mostly on the setting, so some of the critiques have been that there is not much plot to it, but I'm not a reader that really needs a lot of plot to make me love a book. And Morgenstern more than makes up for it with the mysterious air and also the lovable characters. The next book I picked up an arc of at BEA, and it came out on June the 7th, and it is called The Ringmaster's Wife by Kirsty Cameron. We follow our main character, Rosamond, and it is set in the year 1929, so kind of like Downton Abbey. Her family's estate has fallen on some hard times, but she does not want the life of a prim and proper woman staying home and taking care of the house, so she says to hell with that, and she embarks on her own adventure and eventually meets John Ringling and his wife Mabel of the Ringling Brothers. I think this is the book that was the most lighthearted of the ones that I'm going to mention, and we get to know Rosamond, our main character, really well, and her relationship with another guy that's involved in the circus, as well as the relationship of John and Mabel Ringling. The next book I'm going to introduce has also kind of been going around BookTube a lot lately, and it is The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan. It is really atmospheric, magical realism, literary fiction-ish, and finds its basis and inspiration in Scottish fairy tales and myths. So in this book there are 2 types of people. The first one is landlockers who live on land, and the second type is damplings who live on boats on the sea. And on one of these boats is a traveling circus, and in the traveling circus is a girl named North and a bear that she really cares for. Unfortunately, some of the other people in the circus don't really care for North. We also have Calendish, who is a landlocker, and she now lives in isolation because of something really awful that happened, and her job is a gracekeeper who takes care of the damplings who have passed away in preparation for their funerals. Throughout the book, the paths of these 2 characters cross, but really what stood out to me was the writing. It was really something that I wanted to sink my teeth into and slow down and really digest, just like Burial Rites by Hannah Kant. Next up we have The Weight of Feathers by Anna Marie McLemore, who is a Mexican-American author, and she weaves her own culture into this book. I finished this book during Genrethon in April, and it is about a boy named Cluck who is a Corbeau and Lace who is a Paloma, who are two rivaling families both involved in traveling circus type acts. One day Lace is in trouble and Cluck comes to save her, so naturally you can probably expect a Romeo and Juliet type story, but really it's so much more than that. We get to see the long-standing legends of each of these individual families and how it tied respectively to their French and Mexican cultures they are. So the last book that I'm going to be talking about is Magruder's Curiosity Cabinet by H.P. Wood. It is set in 1904 on Coney Island, and there is a group of people called the Unusuals, and they include an African-American man who has lost both of his legs, a Tibetan priestess, and a mute Turkish boy, and they are involved in a kind of circus carnival act. Together they help a girl named Kitty look for her missing mother, and their distress is further compounded because there's this weird plague going around and it's like killing a whole bunch of people. In relation to each of these characters' stories, we get to see the ways that they are discriminated against in the society because of things like their gender identity or their race. There are also themes like loyalty, health, and family, so this book is really important but also a little bit dark and really entertaining. So now it is time to talk about the giveaway that I'm going to be doing for 2 winners, which will be announced in my June wrap-up and July TBR video, which is going up on Thursday, June 30th at 4:30 p.m. PST. Each winner will receive a finished copy of Magruder's Curiosity Cabinet, and here are the instructions. So number 1, the giveaway will be US only. This video is not sponsored in any way, however, Sourcebooks was so kind to provide me both copies of the book, and they will be the ones who are sending them out. Number 2, you do have to be 18 years or older or have permission from a parent or guardian. So to enter, all you have to do is leave me a comment down below, and this is what you have to put in the comment. So first, you have to actually explicitly tell me that you do want to enter the giveaway, otherwise I won't enter you in the giveaway if you don't tell me directly. And number 2, please recommend me a book that you would think that I would like and why you think I would like it. If you want a bonus entry, I will be going through all the recommendations that you guys give me, and for all the books that I actually put on my TBR and are genuinely interested in, the person who suggested them to me will get a bonus entry into my giveaway. If you do get a bonus entry, I will let you know in a reply to your original comment on this video. Okay, and so for the last thing, the giveaway will close at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on June 27th, so that is a week from today, and again, I will announce who won in my June wrap-up July TBR video. Okay, so that is it for this video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing to me, leaving me comments, just talking to me, and helping me reach 3,000 subscribers. It really means so much to me. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!